In the last video, we covered a variety of things you could do to enhance your user's experience using tooltips. In this video, we'll be finishing our refinement by dialing in the last few elements of our dashboard. We'll start by formatting our parameter. You can see that the service level parameter adjusted to this gray background when we change the color of the dashboard background. Unfortunately, we can't customize this formatting any further to actually make it blend seamlessly into our dashboard. Instead, we'll need to take an approach like we did in the strategic dashboard section, but this time we'll make it a bit shorter. Since it's just a parameter we want to display, not a filter, just drag out a text box onto the dashboard, put it right in between here, and we'll type service level goal, and then we'll insert the parameter value. Now let's format this as trebuchet. We'll make it 10 point, light gray, bold, and centered. And let's make the actual parameter our blue and 14 point. So now to get this to line up on top of the readout slider, let's drag a vertical container into here as well. We'll drag the service level metric into the container, and as well as the parameter. Now for the parameter, we need to customize it and uncheck show readout, and also hide the title. Now if we select this container and slide it next to today's date, make it a bit taller, we have an excellent formatted readout of the 85%. Now today's date doesn't necessarily line up with the new parameter, and there's no way to get these even closer. So let's format the today's date to match. First we'll make it trebuchet with our gray, 10 point, centered. And then in order to get the spacing correctly, let's just add another blank line here, and we have to type a space so that way Tableau knows to be sure to include it and not just hide it. Let's make it an 8 point space, and now we have a lot better alignment between today's date and the service level goal. Maybe we'll drop this just a few more points. So it looks like 5 point was the trick. The final thing we'll do on this dashboard is to move the legend to the bottom of the combo chart. Right now it's up in the title area. Want it centered about in the bottom. Now we can add a background color to make this a little bit easier to read. We just click the action arrow, format legends. We can add maybe a 50% transparency shading on the legend. Looks a little cramped in there. Instead of using the background for the legend, let's go ahead and set that background to none, and we'll drag out a text box holding shift. I'll just type a space here. So now we have a text box we can format, and we can shade this with a 50% black background and make that our background instead. So let's just move this to the front first, so that way it floats above the gray background, and then we'll put the gray background behind it. One last adjustment we could make would be to change this font to trebuchet, which we can do by formatting the legend and changing the font of the body right here. To summarize what we covered in this video, we learned how to create seamless parameters, legends, and quick filters on our dashboard. You can create a fully customized parameter readout by using a text object on the dashboard. Quick filters and parameters can be formatted by right-clicking on them and choosing Format. You can also use floating text boxes to create visual containers or dividers by leaving the contents blank, using the background shading to get the color you want. You can even create lines just by making a text box 1 to 2 pixels wide. In the next section, we'll be covering publication options and best practices to get the dashboard into your users' hands.